It's a reminder that in sports, as in life, nothing is linear. Progress is messy. Championships are earned in the margins, in the tough conversations, the silent grind, and the belief that even when the odds stack up, you've got what it takes. And when you talk to someone who's been in the crowd, on the float, or simply watching from the couch with a heart full of hope, you understand just how much it means. What's even more remarkable is how much of this success stems from a front office that knows how to balance long-term planning with short-term execution. Roseman, whether people want to admit it or not, is playing chess when others are stuck on checkers. While other teams scramble every offseason to fix holes, he's already 5 moves ahead. He understands the cap, he manipulates contracts like a veteran magician, and he's not afraid to make bold moves. Whether it's trading up to draft someone like Jair Brown or locking in cornerstone players on multi-year deals before they explode in value. That kind of forward thinking is rare, and it's the backbone of why this franchise remains competitive year after year. You hear a lot of talk about windows in the NFL. Those brief moments when everything lines up and a team has a real shot to win it all. For most franchises, those windows slam shut quickly. Injuries happen. Players regress. Coaches get figured out. But the Eagles have built something more sustainable, something that's not just about peaking once every decade. They've built depth, they've drafted well, they've made smart bets, and perhaps most importantly, they've fostered a culture where expectations are sky high, but the work ethic matches that standard every single day. The chemistry between players and coaches is another ingredient that can't be overstated. This team plays for each other. You see it in the way they fight for extra yards, in the way the defense rallies to the ball, in the silent head nods between linemen who've been through the wars together. You can't fake that kind of cohesion. It's forged over time. Through adversity, through late nights at the facility, through heartbreaking losses and euphoric wins. And in a city like Philadelphia, that grit resonates. Fans don't just want stars, they want fighters, they want dogs. They want guys who will leave it all on the field, win or lose. And that's what this squad delivers. I remember talking to Fangio about what it really takes to prepare a team for a moment as massive as the Super Bowl. And what struck me was how calm he was. Not robotic, not indifferent, just composed. Like someone who's been in the fire enough times to know panic doesn't help anyone. He spoke about the subtle adjustments they made mid-game, the reads that changed based on offensive motion, the calculated risks on third down. It wasn't luck. It wasn't just talent. It was preparation. Relentless, obsessive preparation. And when the moment came, they didn't flinch. They didn't need to blitz Mahomes to make him uncomfortable. They let their front four eat. They kept the back end disciplined. They executed a plan that worked because it was built on hours and hours of detail most fans never see. It's funny. People outside of Philly sometimes talk about this team like it came out of nowhere, like they just happened to put it all together. But the truth is, this was years in the making. From draft boards to training camp reps to locker room leadership, nothing about this success is accidental. Even the setbacks, the late season, collapse in 23, the injuries, the scrutiny, all of that played a role in sharpening this group. Pain builds perspective, and perspective, when channeled correctly, builds champions. One of the coolest things to watch as a fan, and something our guest really emphasized, is the evolution of leadership within the locker room. You've got veterans who've been through the highs and lows, who know what it's like to fall short and what it takes to go all the way. But you also have hungry young guys stepping into bigger roles, soaking up wisdom while bringing fresh energy to the group. It's that perfect blend of experience and urgency. It pushes everyone forward. It sets the standard. And when that standard is enforced from within, not just by coaches but by peers, you get something special. And let's not gloss over the quarterback situation. It's easy to take consistent quarterback play for granted in today's NFL. But anyone who's watched this league long enough knows how rare it is. The guy under center for Philly doesn't just have talent, he's got poise, intelligence, and leadership qualities that elevate everyone around him. You can build the best roster in the world, but if your quarterback isn't locked in, it doesn't matter. Fortunately, this one is. He understands the moment, he carries the weight without crumbling, and when the lights are brightest, he steps up. That kind of presence is contagious. What our conversation really reminded me of, though, is just how much this all means to the city itself. Philadelphia is a place that's often misunderstood from the outside. People talk about the tough fans, the brutal media, the harsh winters, but what they miss is the heart, the soul, the unwavering loyalty. These fans don't just cheer. They invest. They care deeply. And when the team wins, it's a collective exhale, a shared joy that cuts through everything else. That's why the Super Bowl parade wasn't just a celebration. It was a release, a culmination of decades of hope, pain, and unshakable belief. And for someone like our guest, who grew up not seeing many titles, who remembers seasons where 4 or 5 wins was the norm, it meant everything. Riding down Broad Street, past neighborhoods he knew like the back of his hand, watching generations come together in one massive, euphoric wave. It was magic. And those moments stay with you. They live in your bones. It also puts into perspective how rare these opportunities are. You don't get to do this often. Championships are hard. Sustaining greatness is even harder. That's why there's a hunger to keep pushing, to not settle, to build something lasting. And that's what this organization seems committed to. Not just winning once, but becoming a perennial powerhouse. A team that defines an era, not just a season. We ended up talking a little about what the future looks like for the team, for the front office, even for himself. And while he joked about dodging political questions in the middle of a football chat, it was clear that whatever path he follows, sports will always be part of it. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just a hobby. It's part of who he is. It shaped him. From those first calls to 610 AM radio as a teenager, to standing on that Super Bowl float with beers flying and fans crying, it's all connected. It's all part of the same story. And maybe that's the best way to describe what makes Philadelphia football so special. It's not just about winning, it's about belonging. It's about waking up every day knowing that no matter what else happens, your team is out there grinding, fighting, representing you. And when they succeed, you succeed. When they fall, you feel it too. It's personal. It always has been. So as we look ahead, as the roster takes shape, as the staff locks in and the city braces for another run, remember this. These are the good times. This is the era you'll tell your kids about. The team is loaded. The front office is dialed in. And the fans, well, the fans are as electric as ever. This is Philadelphia, this is football, and this is just the beginning. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. If there's one thing that truly defines Philadelphia sports fans, it's the raw, unfiltered passion they carry for their team. We're not just talking about game day excitement or celebrating touchdowns. We're talking about a lifelong connection. A bond so strong, it shapes identities, brings communities together, and sparks debates in living rooms, bars, and radio shows across the region. And when you grow up in a place like Montgomery County, that connection isn't just something you feel on Sundays, it's part of who you are. It becomes the rhythm of your life, the background noise of your memories, and something that follows you wherever you go. I had the pleasure of speaking with someone who knows exactly what that feels like. Someone who, despite the weight of a political career, never let go of his love for the game. The way he talks about the Eagles, the way his face lights up recalling the energy of a playoff run, the sound of a packed stadium, or even just a good old-fashioned radio debate. It's authentic. It's not manufactured for cameras or crowds. It's real. You can feel it. This is a guy who remembers dialing into sports radio back when it aired on 610 AM. Still a kid with nothing but opinions and dreams, waiting for his voice to be heard. That's the kind of stuff that stays with you. That's when sports stops being just entertainment and becomes a part of your story. And that connection only deepens when you're not just a fan, but a part of the culture. He told me how much he values getting on sports shows and podcasts. Not just because it's fun, though it clearly is, but because it's meaningful. It's a break from the weighty issues of governance and policy. It's a chance to be human in front of a different kind of audience. When you're constantly under the public eye for your political decisions, it means something special to sit down and talk ball, to swap opinions on defensive formations, coaching strategies, or just relive the magic of that Super Bowl parade. It's not a stunt, it's therapy, it's connection. It's community. That one story in particular stood out to me. The way he described the experience of being at the Super Bowl parade in Philly, I mean, picture this. Millions of fans lining Broad Street, the air buzzing with joy and disbelief. The team had done it again. After years of near misses, heartbreaks, and second guessing, the Eagles had climbed the mountain, knocked off Kansas City, and claimed their second championship since 2017. And he was there, not just as a spectator, but as someone invited to ride along in the parade, to soak in the confetti, the chants, the sea of green that stretched for miles. He got to be on the float, waving to the crowds, catching beers. Launched from who knows where, feeling the pulse of a city that lives and breathes this team. Now, I've got to admit, he was pretty proud of his throw. Said he nailed a perfect toss from about 40 yards out. And if you've ever been in a Philly crowd during a championship celebration, you know that's no small feat. On the flip side, he didn't manage to catch the one someone else tossed. His way. What's even funnier is that at one point he was about to throw another can when he realized the person in the crowd was actually someone important. Someone who probably shouldn't get hit in the face with a flying beer. That quick moment of hesitation probably saved a headline or two. Unfortunately, not everyone was so lucky. One of his colleagues took a can straight to the dome and ended up bleeding from the head. No joke. Apparently, people were tossing them with a little too much enthusiasm. But that's Philly. That's what this means to people. And honestly, no one really seemed mad. It was part of the chaos, part of the celebration. He described getting off the bus behind the art museum and just being blown away by the sheer scale of it all. Lines of people, faces lit up with joy, from kids on their parents' shoulders to lifelong fans who'd waited decades to see this kind of success. It was a rare generational moment, and he knew it. And when you grow up in a place where championships don't come easy, where hope often feels like a setup for heartbreak, you don't take these wins for granted. You savor every second. But beyond the spectacle, what really stuck with me was his admiration for the people behind the scenes, the ones who built the team, made the calls, and kept believing even when things got rough. One name that came up a lot was Fangio, a guy who understands defense on a level few others do. He talked about their recent interview, and you could tell there was genuine respect there. Not just for what Fangio did during the Super Bowl, but for how he thinks, how he leads, and how he adapts. They didn't just walk into that game with a cookie-cutter plan. They watched, learned, adjusted, and executed with surgical precision. Mahomes didn't know what hit him. No blitz, just pressure. Smart, calculated football at the highest level. And the other name that stood out, Roseman. A man who's become one of the most respected general managers in the league, and for good reason. When the team was sliding near the end of the 2023 season, losing 6 out of their last 7, there were questions everywhere. Was the locker room falling apart? Could the coach still rally the troops? But Roseman never flinched. He made a bold move, bringing in Fangio as defensive coordinator before even touching the roster. That says a lot. It means he had a vision. He knew what pieces were missing and what had to change to make the next run possible. And guess what? He was right. The bond between him and Roseman is interesting. It's not built on daily phone calls or insider gossip. It's a mutual respect, a friendship that exists outside the bounds of football or politics. He doesn't ask about roster moves, and Roseman doesn't offer policy advice. But what he appreciates most is Roseman's clarity, his ability to stay calm under pressure, to make tough calls without losing the big picture, and to build something sustainable, not just flashy. That's leadership. That's what separates good executives from great ones. And if you really want to understand why this guy connects so deeply with the fans, it's because he's one of them. He's lived this. He's celebrated, he's suffered, and he sat in traffic trying to get to the link like everybody else. His weekends revolve around game schedules. His memories are tied to miracle finishes and gut-wrenching losses. Even when he's busy running a state, he finds time to pull out his iPad, stream a game in the car, or check scores while juggling 1,000 other things. Because sports isn't a distraction. It's part of his foundation. And let's not pretend this is just about the Eagles. The man watches everything from the Sixers in the playoffs to any big NBA matchup going down. He's the kind of fan who understands the flow of the game, appreciates good coaching, and isn't afraid to dive into strategy. That's what makes his voice refreshing in the world of sports talk. It's not just opinions for the sake of noise. It's insight shaped by experience, emotion, and a genuine desire to engage with people outside of his professional lane. That's why these conversations matter. That's why podcasts, radio hits, and interviews like the one I had with him resonate so much. Because in a world where public figures often stay guarded, filtered, and overly polished, hearing someone talk passionately and knowledgeably about their team, about specific moments, matchups, or plays, reminds you that at the end of the day, we're all fans. We all need that outlet, that joy, that escape. And as we head into the 2024 season, there's this renewed sense of belief. 14 regular season wins, a playoff stretch that felt like destiny, and a Super Bowl performance that silenced the doubters. This is a team with momentum, with structure, with identity, and most importantly, with leadership. The coaching staff didn't just fix mistakes, they elevated a game. They addressed weaknesses, refocused the group after a rocky start, and delivered when it counted. Most, even during the early weeks sitting at 2-2, questions swirled. Could the head coach hold the locker room together? Would the quarterback bounce back? But something clicked. They found their rhythm. They refused to let the past define them. They didn't collapse like the season before when the final died, or 6 games slipped away. This time, they finished strong, they believed, they executed, and they brought home the hardware. CJ Gardner-Johnson has always been a player known for his ferocity on the field, his ability to break up passes, and his penchant for delivering big hits. However, recently, the former Philadelphia Eagles safety opened up in a candid interview, admitting to a mistake that has weighed heavily on him since leaving the team. I regret it every day, he said, reflecting on his decision to leave the Eagles during the offseason. Gardner-Johnson, who had been a key part of the Eagles secondary, helping the team reach the Super Bowl in the 2022 season, signed with the Detroit Lions after a standout year in Philadelphia. His decision to move on from a team that had just come off a Super Bowl appearance was met with surprise by many, especially given his integral role in one of the league's most dominant defenses. The safety, known for his ability to read offenses and create turnovers, admitted that his move to Detroit was motivated by a mix of factors. I wanted a new challenge, a new opportunity, Gardner-Johnson explained. But looking back, I realized the situation in Philadelphia was perfect for me. The culture, the players, the coaching staff, it all felt right. His regret stems not from the team he joined, but from what he left behind. Philadelphia has a special place in my heart, he continued. I miss the locker room. I miss the guys. It was the most fun I've had in my career so far. The energy, the commitment, there was no place like it. Gardner-Johnson's connection with his teammates was evident, and it's clear the bond he shared with his Eagles brothers still holds a significant place in his heart. While the Lions are building something special in Detroit, Gardner-Johnson admitted that the Eagles' championship window was wide open. That team, that defense, had everything in place, he said. I was part of something that could have been really special, and I left it. I can't help but feel like I made a mistake. The Eagles, meanwhile, have continued their dominance, with their defense remaining one of the most formidable in the NFL. Gardner-Johnson's departure, though difficult for fans and teammates alike, has not derailed the Eagles' pursuit of another championship. For Gardner-Johnson, the move to Detroit is an ongoing journey, and he's committed to proving that he made the right decision, even if it doesn't always feel that way. I'm a competitor, he said. I'll give everything I have for this team. But every time I watch the Eagles, I think, what if? His time in Philadelphia may be behind him, but the regret Gardner-Johnson feels serves as a reminder of the powerful connections players can make with their teams. As he continues to build his legacy in Detroit, one can't help but wonder how different things might have been if he had stayed in Philadelphia, chasing a second Super Bowl ring with a team that still holds a special place in his heart. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.